Good morning, my name is Magnitude, aka Steve, and welcome to week 9 of the UBL, the unfortunately blonde Labradoodles. You know, actually that would probably be, well, they're unfortunately blonde, so they probably got like frosted tips, so it's not what exactly they want. Week 9, going against Rewt and the NJ Brobats. He's got a lot of great stuff. Check out his channel in the description. This is week 9. We're currently 4-4 at -4, and our playoff scenario is pretty bleak. The best way for us to do it is just to win both games. We win both games, we are fine. If we go 1-1, like +3 or +4 over that 1-1, we are still really pushing it, but that's a possibility. But if we win both games, that's way better. If you guys enjoy the videos and you want to show support, be sure to leave a like on those videos. The likes help the channel grow. I'm still trying to get the ads on this channel. And you know, check out my Facebook. You know what? I don't use Facebook really. Check out my Twitter account, and I sell T-shirts. And if you want to become a Patreon, I send out Pokemon cards in the mail every month, so you can get some signed stupid shit on a Pokemon card if you want to do that. So all those links in the description. I implore you to check those out. So let's take a look at the squads. I'm bringing Gliscor, Weevil, Ferrothorn, Blacephalon, Gramble, and Vaporeon. My opponent here has a Nidoqueen, a Meloetta, a Raichu, a Milotic, a Mega Diancie, and a Scizor. So I'm running Scarf Gliscor again. I was actually running Scarf Gliscor with Ice Fang and Earthquake, U-Turn, and Knockoff. And I was running Scarf Gliscor almost exclusively for Incineroar and Garchomp and Swellow. So I had Ice Fang for both of those, and I was kind of hoping to catch both of those, but he brought none of those, which means my Gliscor isn't really, I don't really need it as much. Also, I can live a hit from like a bulky Nidoqueen's Ice Beam most of the time. I can live a hit from a bulky Milotic most of the time. I can live, obviously, pretty much anything from Scizor. So, you know, I'm liking Gliscor as a lead because if he wants to lead with one of those mons try to counter me, I know that I can take a hit, most likely. And, but worst case, I get off damage. Best case for me, he leads with Nidoqueen. I hit with Earthquake. I crit him. I kill him. Also best case, he leads with Nidoqueen. I Earthquake. He Ice Beams me or Stealth Rocks me. But if he Ice Beams me and I don't die, that's in with the Stealth Rock. But the worst case is he Ice Beams me and I died. So I have, you know, it's like a 75 to 80% chance I'm going to leave the Ice Beam here. But I figure, you know what, I'm going to fire off an Earthquake. If he wants to go for Stealth Rocks, that's fine. If he wants to Ice Beam me and I live, also fine. But Nidoqueen, I do a significant portion to, and he is going to fire off the Ice Beam. Which, that's fine, because I can live this most of the time. Motherfucker! Why did I think I could do that? Why did I think that there was a god that likes me? Why did I think that if something good came my way and I have a majority chance for that good thing to happen? It won't. But I go into Weevil, and if you thought turn 1 was a series of unfortunate events, it takes at least 2 to have a series. So this is turn 2. You ready for the part 2 of a series of unfortunate events? Sangha, you dead man. Yeah, man. His lucky egg, right? Because, so I hit him with a knockoff. He almost dies. Are you serious? Oh my god. That, oh my, now I can't outspeed him. I can't even risk going for the Ice Shard here. But I do. Because fuck that. 2 turns in a row, unfortunate event. I can't get a third one in a row. I can't get a third one in a row. I don't. So that's one. I think he was trying to sacrifice his Raichu there. But, so I get paralyzed. Luckily, I have Heal Bell on Gramble. So now I gotta try to manufacture a way to do that. Now, I could have gone right into Gramble here and gotten Heal Bell off. But he goes into the wave. Are you riding it? Are you riding it? Going into Scizor. He sees that I don't have left a Gliscor. But I go into Ferrothorn on the Milotic. I wanted to see if it had, obviously it had Scald. I wanted to see if it was going to use Scald. I wanted to see if it had, I wanted to see what it was going to do. He goes to Swords Dance, and if you ever had that feeling that you had fucked up so bad, and now finally it's like coming into fruition where everyone's realizing how bad you fucked up, and you're about to get like the shit kicked out? Maybe not, but you know what I mean, right? Like you did something terrible, and you know, when it first happens, you don't think too much of it. You feel a little guilty about it, but then slowly everybody else starts realizing that you did something terrible, and they're gonna fucking punish you. That's what happened with Gliscor. Initially, I didn't think it was that bad at all, but then once this started happening, I realized, oh fuck. Now he's got Swords Dance. I don't see leftovers, so I don't. He's got Resto Chesto Swords Dance. Does he have Roost? But I'm going to go back on a Ferrothorn. I kind of banked the fact he wouldn't have Pursuit or use it there. He couldn't really risk it, and I kind of knew that with going into the Blacephalon. Got the Air Balloon for case he had Scarf Garchomp. But Iron Barb's coming into play. We got Leftovers. We got the Leech Seed coming out. So I am, I'm handling this threat to the best of my ability now that Gliscor's gone. He is just going to keep, stacking Swords Dance. But now he's at a point where he sort of can't afford to not Roost. So I wanted to see if he would have it. I mean, he had maybe one more turn left, but he might have been predicting me to switch. He might have predicted me to switch and not going for Roost. I just go for a Gyro Ball. I want to see the kind of damage it's going to do. And honestly, that's more than I thought. I mean, Scissor Slow, Ferrothorn, this thing is my defensive wall. So now he's got Roost, Swords Dance, Bullet Punch. His last move probably has to be Superpower, which means that Blacephalon would have been safe if he was only at +2. However, I go to Gramble to get Intimidate off. And it's, as I feel like at this point, if he's got Superpower, he's gonna use it, or he's gonna go for Swords Dance one more time. He does go for Swords Dance one more time. Now, I've been swapping around a lot, right? And I'm gonna try to keep doing that to get to a point where he finally tries to predict me to switch offensively. And he finally tries to hit me with a Superpower or instead of a Bullet Punch, or vice versa, right? So I switch out again. I'm gonna keep flipping and flopping. I go into Ferrothorn, and he's at a point where, I mean, I guess he could realistically just keep Bullet Punching and Bullet Punching, but it's going to come to a point where I can kind of outstall him here. Mostly because I have the Pokemon that can switch in, and he is still Leech Seeded. So he's going to have to Roost eventually, where he might, go for a Bullet Punch. And that's another turn where I could potentially, make use of that. Now, he's at a point here where he probably has to Roost, and I kind of thought about going for Stealth Rock. I was like, you know what? This thing is just fucking me. I gotta stop it from fucking me. So I go on a Vaporeon. I thought here he might go for a Roost, and he does. So an option here is I outspeed him and burn him with Scald. Do you see the level of desperation we've gotten to this early in the battle? That's what we're doing. I have to try to burn him with Scald. Superpower is going to ruin my day. It is. And he does have Superpower. If I went to Gramble here, that would have been magnifique. But given the circumstances. So now he's at, I think it was +3. I was keeping track. But now I go into Gramble, and the obvious play here, after seeing Superpower, or the obvious play is to go into Ferrothorn. But I think I finally got to the point where he's going to Superpower me, think I'm going to go into Ferrothorn and try to get, and he does, to get the 1-up on me. So after doing a lot of jimmying around and a lot of jostling with my Mons, I finally am able to get an opportunity where Granbull just takes out a Scizor. So go ahead and, I'm saying that phrase, and now think about the number of times you've heard that phrase being said. Much like early offensive pressure with Torkoal, right? So I'm opening up your Pokemon vocabulary to new plateaus, really. So now he goes into Regina, and that is his Nidoqueen, and he's probably got Sludge Wave, but he also, this is an obvious switch, and I can't do it 2 times in a row. So let's go to Blacephalon. If he wants to Sludge Wave me, fine. If he wants to Earth Power me for some strange reason, forgetting I have Air Balloon, fine. But Stealth Rocks, also, you know what? Fine, I guess. Fine. Turns out, not fine, but fine. So he goes into Nidoqueen, and I am going to go ahead and just fire a Flamethrower. I know I'm going to kill it, and I'm going to get that Beast Boost, and I'm going to learn something right now. So he knows I'm not Scarfed, and because I'm not Scarfed, he could have just gone right into Milotic, but I opted not to. So I get Beast Boost on +1 now, and now we're firing on cylinders. He goes into Raichu, which leads me to believe that his Diancie is not max speed. If his Mega Diancie was max speed, he would have gone into it there, knowing he'd outspeed me and probably kill me with Power Gem. He goes for Surf. I expected Shadow Ball, or some kind of Hidden Power Ghost thing. I'm only saying Hidden Power Ghost because there's a part of me that's like, does he even get Shadow Ball? Then I'm thinking about it, but I know that he does, and I'm second guessing myself. Now I'm third guessing myself. Does he get Shadow Ball? Probably. Yeah, I was in the prep. I had prep notes. So now I'm at +2, and he goes into this. So there is now I'm going to pause the video. We do this often to talk about the plays that I'm going to make. There is a situation arising. So he goes into Meloetta, and I know he's Scarfed. Because he wouldn't go into it without it. He would have gone into Milotic, which is a much safer play at that point, if he wasn't Scarfed, because he knew that he could probably live a Shadow Ball. It's a bulky Milotic, and I get that on Blacephalon, but it's Milotic, right? So he is a Scarf Meloetta. He obviously can't go for Relic Song here. He can go for Psychic. He can go for... I can't go for a Fighting move. I don't think he's going to go for U-Turn. I don't think he'll kill me with U-Turn. Hyper Voice can't do because I'm a Ghost. So the options that he has, maybe like a charge beam, some kind of weird like charge beam set. But if he was that, then he wouldn't go into Milwaukee because charge. You know, if he was Scarf, he wouldn't do that. So Psychic's probably the play here. The problem with that is that I can't be wrong, and my one immunity is paralyzed. So even if I get him, even if he is Scarf and goes for a Psychic type move, and I go into Weevil and I take it, and then he's got to switch, I can get paralyzed. So I had to really think about kind of what my steps forward works. Now I've kind of got a handle on what his mons are. He's probably some sort of setup super at the NC. He's definitely Scarf Melwetta, and he's of course Milotic. What can I do to those things? And right now, the outlook is bleak. So I am going to stay in after lots of thoughts. And he does go for Psychic, so that's not bad. Now here, we'll start again. We'll make my play, and then I'll give you my insight. So I go into Grand Bulk. I want to get a Heal Bell off. And I'm looking at the calcs. I can live this a solid amount of time. But I am going to go ahead and kind of give my case for it. I could have, my options were probably Grand Bulk, Ferrothorn, or Weevil. I didn't want to go into Weevil because I wanted to get it not paralyzed. If I went into Ferrothorn, what I imagined was going to happen, if I had time to edit a dream sequence, I would. If I go into Ferrothorn, he's got to switch because he's only going to do like 20% to me. I go into Ferrothorn, he's going to go into Milotic from Ferrothorn. My plan was, if he went into Milotic, to go into Granbull to take a 1 or 2 Scalds and then Heal Bell. But I learned after talking to him that if I went into Ferrothorn, he would have gone to Milotic just to double right back into Meloetta. So it wouldn't have mattered for me anyway. So I'm actually risking the fact that I can live a hit here. He's noticed I'm leftovers. There's part of me hoping that maybe he thought that I still had Assault Vest. He goes for Psychic. Also, I was hoping that he wasn't max special attack. I was hoping he was some sort of Jolly plus speed set, because the fact that he was modest max special attack meant that I definitely died there. So I kind of let Gramble die for no reason. If I had to roll the dice at that point, I had been thrashed by that fucking Scizor. So he's got to switch, and I'm actually taking the opportunity to go. If I just don't get paralyzed at all, I got a solid shot here. So he's going to go to Milotic. I'm going to go for a Sword Fan, baby. And now we about to fire off. That Dark EMZ, baby. Dark EMZ knockoff is going to do like 65% to you, baby. Yeah, crit city. If we get a... Oh, fuck me in the butthole. If we got a crit there, would have died. But that doesn't do a lot of damage. So we then go back into Ferrothorn, and I realize this Milotic could have walled me, right? I could have... honestly, I could have Leech Seeded this thing, right? And then it would have been... It's a matter of when was he going to burn me with Skull? It was going to happen eventually. You got that sweet marble scale. So he is going to switch, of course. It's a good play for him, too. He goes back into Meloetta. And I take this opportunity to go for Leech Seed instead of an attacking move. So that was kind of a bummer. I get Leech Seed, and he's probably got Hidden Power Fire. I imagine he's got Hidden Power Fire in this. He might have had Hidden Power Fire on Raichu as well. So there's a lot of stuff that he could have Hidden Power Fire on. He might have like Hidden Power Fire on Diancie. He might have Hidden Power, or he might have Hidden Power Ice on Diancie instead for Gliscor. So, but the fact he went back into it means he's got definitely Hidden Power Fire. That does a lot of damage. I am going to go for a Gyro Ball. That's how you incorrectly say Gyro Ball. Hoping that he was Scarfed a little more damage than that. It doesn't. I got to make a decision on what I want to happen. I actually opt to go into... Do I go into Weevil right here? I might go into Weevil right here. I think I do go into Weevil right here. There's a chance I can... Oh, there's a chance after the rocks I can live Hidden Power Fire. It was like a 35 to 45%, I forget, percent chance to live a Hidden Power Fire from this thing, and then but based on the set that I was more bulky Weevil with Swords Dance, so I didn't have to run max, but that, he was max tech, so I'm not living that, and though I also probably calculated before Stealth Rock, so that was probably my fault. But Ferrothorn's going to come back here, and obviously Ferrothorn's not going to do anything. And Ferrothorn's going to lose. Now, obviously, if I let, if Ferrothorn died, could have gone into Weevil, gone for Ice Shard, but he might have just gone into Milotic anyway. So, I am going to lose 3-0, and honestly, I am not too thrilled with the way I played this game. I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, there it is. I made, I think too many mistakes. I did. I don't think letting Gliscor die that early was that smart of a play. My first iteration of this team was a Sun team with Victory Bell, and Victory Bell would have fucking cleaned up. But I was afraid too much of the... What was I afraid of? I didn't bring it for a certain reason. Not Milotic, obviously. Was it Nidoqueen, maybe? I was afraid of like a Nidoqueen, like Nidoqueen Shaymin combination that could have, Nidoqueen could have come in like a Sludge Bomb, and then, if in the sun, it would have been a Fire type. So I think that's what I was afraid of. But, honestly, I wasn't a big fan of the team that I brought either. This whole game, I was pretty uncomfortable this whole game. I didn't like the matchup at all, which is, more of a testament to the kind of team that I drafted. What I'm saying there is probably more testament to the lack of quality of team that I drafted against his here. I just wasn't comfortable with the matchup. I could have, if I pretty much made Gliscor a dedicated physical wall instead of Ferrothorn, I could have walled that Scizor way easier, if I gave it Fire Fang. But I thought I kind of would have had it covered. Turns out I did not. So, like I said, I wasn't really happy with really anything about this game. I don't think I played well. I don't think I built all that well. But that leaves us for 1 week left, and the playoff scenario is interesting. So there are 4 things that need to happen for me to make the playoffs. 4 things have to happen in order for your boy, the Sawsbucks. I don't know why I'm repeating myself, but let's go ahead and I'm going to go over those really quickly so you know what the stakes are going into next week. Okay, so my playoff scenario is as follows. 1, I have to beat the #1 team in the league 6-0 next week. I'm playing Deebs. He is 7-2 plus 13. I have to beat him 6-0. That's the first thing on the list. Start with the toughest one. 2, the Thunderwolves need to lose 5-0 or worse. If they lose 5-0 or 6-0, then I will jump them in differential, and I have the tiebreaker. I'll jump them in differential, and we'll have the same record. 3, the SL Bonafica has to lose. They're currently 4-5. They're 5-5 to any degree. I will not make the playoffs because I cannot beat their differential. They're at so if they win it all, then they'll be at a higher differential than my +6 will get me. And 4, the Nuzleaves need to go either 0-2 easily, which would be easy for me, or if they go 1-1, they have to have a differential of -2 or worse. So if they go, they win 4-0, then lose 6-0. That's a -2 differential. So. And like I said, I got to beat the #1 team in the league 6-0. So I did it to myself, right? I put myself in the situation. We're currently 4-5, 1 week to go. We have 1 game to pick the playoffs. Things got to fall into place. So, let's just see what happens. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see each and one of you next time. Good night.